Marathon is Bungie's first new FPS in over a decade. It's already pissing people off, and it might be the riskiest release of 2025. Some people think this game is dead on arrival, and others think Bungie is about to reinvent the wheel. So today we're breaking down exactly what Marathon is, why people are worried, and why maybe this gamble might actually pay off in the end for Bungie. Sub here for real breakdowns, no fluff, and no hype. Before we get into why this game has the community split, let's first break down what Marathon actually is. Marathon is a session-based PvPvE extraction shooter. Think Tarkov meets Destiny on a ghost colony called Tal Ceti 4, where something wiped out 30,000 people. And now a bunch of cybernetic mercs called runners are fighting over whatever is left. Each run drops you in with a team of 3, although you can go solo if you're feeling masochistic, and you're not just up against other players. There's AI enemies, security systems, and all kinds of random things roaming around the map. You drop in, loot up, and try to extract. If you die, you lose everything you just picked up from that run. If you survive, you get to keep it. High risk, high reward, that's the core gameplay loop. There are different runner classes, each one comes with its own set of abilities and stats. Bungie has confirmed 6 total runners at launch. 4 of them will be available during the alpha build that will be going live next Wednesday on April 23rd. So yeah, there's a light hero shooter flavor here. We're gonna circle back to this a little later in the video. Outside of the match, you have persistent progression, faction upgrades, black market economy, stat boost, gear customization, yeah, that kind of thing. Even if you wipe in a run, you're still leveling up your runner and continuing to unlock stuff and progress through the game. The whole thing is going to be running on a seasonal structure. New maps, new rewards, and likely new runner classes getting rotated in every single season. So even though the moment-to-moment gameplay is short and sharp, there is still a big picture aspect to it. On paper, it's a clean loop. Drop in, loot, survive, upgrade, repeat. But here is where things start to get complicated, because the way Bungie is building this thing has people seriously divided. Marathon might have a solid foundation, but the way it's being built has a lot of players concerned. First off, no campaign. This is not a co-op PvE experience. There is no missions, no raids, no traditional story mode. And for a lot of gamers, that is a deal breaker. Bungie built its entire legacy on cinematic, campaign-driven shooters. Marathon flips that script completely. It's multiplayer only. No story missions, no offline play, just you, your squad, and the loot. And that shift has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And then there's the genre, extraction shooters. Let's be completely honest here. Not everyone is asking for a new one right now. Between Tarkov clones, Dark and Darker, and the crazy failure of the cycle, a lot of players are just burned out on the extraction genre in its entirety. To some players, this just feels like Bungie is chasing a trend, especially when there is no PvE to help soften the experience for your more casual player. But maybe the biggest issue people have is trust. Bungie's relationship with their player base has been quite rocky for a little while now. Destiny 2 monetization, the layoffs, the failed Lightfall campaign, and now they're launching a new live service game under Sony, right after the epic flop of Concord, which we all know what happened there. To a lot of players, this just feels like another live service gamble from a company that has not done anything to fix their internal issues yet. And finally, the runner system. Even though Bungie's keeping it lightweight, I personally think the risk for ability bloat and power creep is just too serious to not ignore. Each class has its own stats and abilities, but there is no indication of deep player customization. There's loadout selection for sure, but there is no indication of deep build craft or meaningful personalization and expression. If you're a Destiny player that likes tweaking builds and finding synergies, this game is going to feel extremely restrictive for you. So yeah, whenever you stack all of that together, no campaign, genre burnout, Bungie Sony trust issues, and limited player freedom, you can see why this game has people raising red flags already. But here's the thing, that does not mean this game is doomed, because Bungie might actually be onto something here with a few things. Let's flip the angle for a second, because for all the things Marathon is doing differently, some of them might actually work. First up, there's the gunplay. If there is one thing Bungie has consistently nailed across every single game that they've made, it's how good it feels to shoot something. We've already seen Marathon's weapons have punch, recoil, and clean feedback. If they can bring that Destiny polish to this PvPvE game, that already puts Marathon ahead of most extraction shooters out there. Then there's the pacing. Bungie is not building a 45-minute tactical sim. They are building something faster, tighter, and way more replayable. The alpha is going to be structured around quick, intense sessions. You get in, you loot, extract, or die. It's focused with that kind of restraint, and it honestly might be what makes this game actually stand out. The map design leans into that too. Every zone is built around tension, tight angles, verticality, and shifting risk. You're not just looting, you're having to make constant decisions. Push deeper or extract now, go loud or keep moving quiet. There's also this crazy idea Bungie keeps referring to. It's something called the story engine. Basically, instead of cutscenes and scripted missions, your story evolves from the way that each match plays out. What fights you win, what loot you escape with, the moments that you barely survive, or the moments that you choke. And when you combine that with PvP, PvE, and a full seasonal structure, it opens the door for Marathon to become more than just a shooter. It might be the first live service game that actually respects your time. Does that mean it'll succeed? Not even close. But if Bungie can deliver on these core ideas and promises, Marathon might not just survive the genre, it would evolve it. Here are the things that I'm going to be looking out for between now and the end of the alpha. Will the story engine actually create memorable moments or just random chaos? How meaningful is the long-term progression systems? And can Bungie actively and efficiently respond to live feedback once the alpha drops? Marathon is a weird one. It's risky, it's different, and it's definitely not going to be for everyone. But Bungie is making bold decisions, and honestly, I'd rather see that than another safe, forgettable shooter. There's a version of this game that absolutely flops, but there is also a version of this game that pulls it off and carves out a new lane for extraction shooters entirely. Either way, I'll be covering the alpha, breaking down any new updates, and tracking this thing from week to week until launch. If you want continued honest coverage without any added fluff, be sure to sub to the channel, drop a like, and let me know what your thoughts are at the moment in the comments. Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.